Hold on. Alright. What time is it? It's husky time, babe. Yep. Just getting this shit out of the way. I got this plugged. Get in there. Oop, there we go. It's alright, yeah. There we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Looking dapper today. Does this hair say I'm looking dapper? This looks fucking, like, especially over here. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. This is insane. Yeah, look at that. That's dapper, yeah. I don't know what's happening with that. In fact, I want to fucks with that. Hold on. This is gonna kind of hurt. I can hurt. Oh, no. Guess so. Put that off to the side. Okay, I hate how I have, like, this shit going on. I hate this every single fucking time I have to, like, undo or redo these things. Life of having long hair and hair ties. I'm gonna have to start bringing my brush in here or some shit if I'm gonna be doing this. Trying to make sure I get all the loose fucking shit out. Oh my god, so much loose shit. Hey, chill out. Bro, hey. Hey. Knock it, bro. Get off. But after a while, long hair becomes a real pain to maintain. For me, it's not really the maintaining it. It's more or less the shit that gets loose and you brush out. Like this. Like, I don't even, I can't even tell if it's me. Yeah, I can barely see it. Like, these fucking little strains, dude. It's like, for all the hair that I have on my head, I lose a lot. Like, seriously. I know a lot of it tends to be because you might tighten your shit too tight, which for me might be the case. I know a lot of it could be nutrients too. So, and also stress is another factor. So basically, like the three things that I definitely am not prioritizing. I mean, the maintenance part isn't the hard part. It's the fucking the stress and the nutrient part. Okay, what the fuck? There we go. That looks better. I mean, for what it's gonna be, at least. Also, I'm not even gonna fucking lie. Like, I've been waking up with some very strong death urges. I'm just not even gonna lie. I mean, just mainly just these last couple nights, I guess. More so than anything. Like, I could tell that I can't really remember them, but I just already know what the gist of them are. Where it's basically it has to do with like different like local predatory animals, and they have them killed. Like I know that much because that's just been kind of on my fucking mindset lately, and frankly, I think I'm just gonna be fucking set with it. And frankly, around here, from what I understand, locals don't give a fuck if you do shoot a coyote despite being city limits. It's more or less, are you gonna have somebody who's enough of an asshole to report it? Which, frankly, who the fuck wants to? If anything, they just say, we found a dead coyote, don't know what happened. They just shrug it off and not give a fuck. So. But I'm pretty much, wait, why in the fuck is that whole part open? What the fuck? Well, this is odd. I just happened to look over and my bolt's like partially open. There we go. Okay. Cute coyote fur pelt carpet. They're not big enough for a carpet. Good enough to wear on your shoulders and head. I was telling at least a couple of my coworkers that were working yesterday about it, and mentioned to more dude who was about to leave because he only heard a glimpse of it, of what happened. It's like, what, you're gonna start like just, how do you know which coyote was the one that did it? Like, are you just gonna kill them all? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go Anakin on them. I mean, I was like, no, I'm not going to, but considering if there is one in my local neighborhood area, and if I trap it or lure it out, it is that one. It's the one that happens to be in the local area where my cat was. So, yeah, a little bit of vendetta. A lot of it's more or less, on like, how do I want to enact it? It's more of like replaying the scenario in my head and like, like how fucking Doctor Strange will fucking, simulate the different, alternatives of which one will work, and there's only like one true option that wins. Ignar not only killed the men coyotes, but the women coyotes. And the children coyotes, too. Nah, I'm just gonna get the fucking one. Because, man, frankly, I get, like, coyotes can actually be important and shit like that, but, get the fuck out of suburbia. Like, it's not my fault I live here, coyote. And it ain't your fault either, but goddammit, one of us is gonna stay. And it ain't you. So, but neither way. I was also checking out some different footage from some of the protesting that was going on the other night. Not really in PDX, because there wasn't really anything going on then. It's just like, some pictures of, signs of people doing their shit. So I'm not really fancy with that, but I was seeing some different videos, some shit that was going on elsewhere. And of course, the LAPD were being a fucking bunch of fascists and shit, because Status Quo uploaded, I think today, one of their journalists was basically, like, shoved up against a fucking railing, and then just basically smacked down up against the ground. The journalist being a woman, by the way. And of course, you have this fucking pig with his little baton and shit, we're trying to protect you. We're trying to protect you. As I literally beat you the fuck up against the railing and shove you to the ground. I'm trying to protect you. It's so fucking shit. Actually, here, I was looking at this not even a minute ago, so it should be like one of my first things I saw in my library, my YouTube history here. Yeah, it's the last thing I saw. Here. Look at this shit. Well, first I have to pop it up. Here we go. Bop. Oh, look at that shit. There's a bunch of angles. Last time was a shit show. Almost got ran over by some dumbass who didn't like protesters. My burner phone got ran over and I lost my videos and pics I was going to share. Damn, bro. At least it was your burner phone. Well, if your SIM card happens to still be okay in it, if you happen, well, not SIM card, but like the SD card, like a memory card, if you happen to have one of those in there, and, I mean, even though it got crushed, and got ran over, it still could potentially be recoverable. I'm saying potentially, you know. I mean, besides, burner phones tend to be made differently than regular old phones, right? So, wouldn't they be kind of like akin to, like, maybe not literally like the old 2003 Nokia, I say. You know, not those indestructible things that could survive a nuke, but I'd imagine they'd at least be a little bit more rugged. More cheaper, but in a way kind of hardier materials. Yeah. Here's Tina's point of view. You gotta learn, you gotta listen, you fucking bitch. That pig really should be, taking a nice adventure on a very tall tree with a very short string.
No, you're not!
Notice how also when he said we're trying to protect you, she immediately was like, no you're not, you literally, like, attacked me. Because that's what he fucking did. I mean, there's really not much to show. Honestly, it looked like, because this is a common tactic, whenever you have a group of these fucking fascist flatfoots, you know, rallying and haranguing people up, like right there, the rest of them on the sidelines, even if there's press, will shove you away to make sure that whatever abuse or whatever fucking beatdown and skull cracking that person is getting over there doesn't get recorded. They don't want video evidence of this shit. That's why they do this. Even if you're journalists, they do that shit. I've had my fair share of being why waste rope, that fascist service so in case of lead poisoning, all content is satire. Well, because rope, well, you know, organic matter can decompose, right? Once it's decomposed, you can repurpose the rope. Once, you know, once it's not there anymore. Yeah. But, yeah, either way, it's honestly, if anything, it's just, it's the same shit, different day when it comes to protesting. And considering how police have more and more jurisdiction to essentially be Judge Dredd, especially with Supreme Court rulings as they are, yeah, I mean, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, they can all get fucked. I mean, I would say other shit, but I kind of need to keep it at least a little civil. I need to keep it civil, even though they don't have to. So, you know, gotta love those double standards. They love that, like, the state and fucking, like, social media, right? Like, all these motherfuckers that operate shit and run the system, especially in America, can pretty much get away with doing any of this type of stuff. But, oh no, even the most tiniest, even if it is legitimately a joke, or you know, a non-serious statement. Like, oh yeah, I just wish that these politicians were all fucking blah, 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 you know, whatever the fuck. Like, even something like that, that's why I went blah, 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 because there ain't no way I'm going to be able to finish the rest of that without being fucked. You know, it's just like, other politicians can get away with doing that shit, but the average Joe? Mm-mm. At least not publicly. Because especially when it comes to a lot of these far-right fascists and shit like that, I mean, a lot of the commentators and political commentators, I mean, a lot of politicians, lobbyists, like a lot of these motherfuckers seem to be pretty open and celebratory about advocating and enacting violence and shit, but, you know, when it comes to a lot of, you know, just the average citizen and, you know, just the everyday person that happens to be just kind of, you know, just struggling to make buying stuff, you better watch what you say. Your opinions might be a little too harmful for the society. And stupidly celebrating the end of Roe, not understanding that Roe was created from the idea of the right to privacy and he likes privacy. Yeah, the whole point of Roe v. Wade is right to privacy, specifically to a woman's privacy. At least in that instance. So it's more double standard shit from these fucking people. Like, I mean, honestly. Where it's just like, I like my privacy, but, oh, a woman's privacy, fuck that. She, you know, her privacy don't exist. Her privacy is mine. So, it's like, you're for privacy, huh? He thinks he's more or less in favor of his own privacy and not necessarily the privacy of others. Which it tends to be really the case for a lot of people that don't give a fuck about privacy rights. They only give a shit about it for their own privacy, but never about anyone else's. If anything, they'd rather have privacy of everybody else's exposed and shit, so they can have a better idea of how to make out of who you are and shit. But like, oh, you know, what do you actually like, so I can have a more definitive opinion? Oh, you're a little bit of a queer, so you do a bunch of butt fucking? Well, that's right for me to know, so I can fucking discriminate against you, you goddamn son of a bitch. So, you know, like, that's just basically what it is. Like, it's like, oh, you know, I don't want people knowing that I probably am, you know, doing adultery affairs and probably, you know, snorting meth off of fucking, you know, gay hooker's asshole or some shit like that. Like, I don't want people knowing that. I want to know if anyone else doing that, but I don't want to know. I don't want anyone else knowing if I'm doing it. Come on, brother. Privacy rights. You're visiting Lawrence, which is the case of strict sodomy laws. I don't want being LGBT to be outlawed. Well, I mean, in a way, it won't. It just will, state by state. And frankly, even if that is the case, how in the fuck are they going to enforce it? Outside of just the fact that, someone's being fervently, openly gay. Which at that point is really where the fucking problem of that type of shit comes into. It's not really the fact that there's people out there butt fucking or having, you know, some oral sex and shit. That's not really the issue. It's the fact that, you know, just being queer is, you know, the problem. So it's like if you know, by the time that shit happens, you'll probably be up here, or at least almost up here. And by that rate, you won't really have to worry about it, because laws about that shit aren't changing here. Like, the right to sodomy. The idea that, like, I just hate that. Like, oh, sodomy. It's like, you know, it's like, fuck you. Like, all sex is sodomy as far as I give a shit. It's like, literally everybody is a sodomizer. Like, it just doesn't mean anything besides some weird religious fervor bullshit. That's just basically what I think when I think sodomy laws. If anyone likes sodomy, yeah, so do I. Fucking literally everybody does. I don't give a shit how vanilla or kinky you are. Because if you like a little blowjob here and there, you like a handy, you know, maybe, you know, you're vanilla as fuck, but you'd like to have a little butt fuck flair occasionally, that's sodomy. So, like, literally, as everybody, just fucking everybody is a sodomite in some way, shape, or form. But that's why so many of these religious fundamentalists want to try to appropriate it for their weird fucking religious fervor, because they have to make sure that sodomy is defined as somebody who's basically queer. And also, by definition, if you're queer, you're also a pedophile in their eyes. This is why religious organizations and a lot of these far-right Christo-fascists having a stronger history of pedophilic action versus just, well, anyone else. Or at least ideologically. Oh, you know, speaking of which, I'm convinced the religious right as a persecution fetish. No, they do. They're a death cult as a persecution fetish that wants to essentially take control of the end of the world. Like, I was watching, like, Vosh's reaction to the whole Roe v. Wade thing. I was talking a little bit about it the other day, or last night, and, I mean, like, and frankly, like, a lot of the shit he was saying is honestly true. Like, yeah, the fact that, you know, the religious far-right, one of the loudest minorities in this country of at least, like, 10-some plus million of people who are just this fundamentally radical, who are death cultists, who have persecution fetish, who wish to essentially control and dictate, yeah, the ethos and the society of what the world is like, and basically get to dictate and control how the world ends in their mind. And, you know, so they basically just want to control how civilization and mankind dies. That's basically just what they want. They want to be able to have, like, some sort of, like, yes, let's celebrate, you know, us and control and power, you know, to do basically a global death. Because God, you know, declares it because of all the sin in the world or some shit. Like, these people are psychopathic. I mean, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, these people really, especially lately, have made me question about, like, the concept of fucking free speech, like, unironically. Because that type of shit just don't got no fucking place in civil society, even just to be spoken about. Well, not about, but in a sense of just, like, you know, of how they are fucking enacting it and how they discuss it and push this shit. It's becoming a little bit more than just, like, some personal free opinion. So I guess forgive if I question, you know, whether these people deserve free speech or not. I give zero fucks about so-called religious freedom. Seriously, honestly, fuck it. That's like one of the biggest mistakes in the First Amendment is having religious freedom. Because honestly, as far as I'm concerned, what, you know, the idea of having religious freedom enacted as a law essentially gives whatever religious organization that has enough money and power in that fucking country or in that government to take control. Because that's what happened in the United States. They enacted it within the Constitution, within the, like, right within the very First Amendment, the freedom of religious expression. And, well, what is the result of that? A Christo-fascist takeover that's been slowly in the making ever since the fucking foundation of this fucking country. Because those people have been here, like, pretty much since it was first settled. It's like Jamestown and Salem and shit. With the Puritans. Like, a lot of them were the first ones to come here because they didn't like the fucking liberal values and the more progressive values that are happening and spreading around in fucking Europe. So they either said fuck this and left, or they were kicked out. Or both. So it's just like, I mean, frankly, they were always here. So fuck their religious freedom as far as I'm concerned. They've done more, like, death and destruction or regression, you know, for this fucking country. And frankly, like, is probably the reason why we aren't great. Like, you know, because honestly, there's a lot of concepts or a lot of ideas that are falsely sold about this country that frankly could be the case if this fucking element just was not goddamn here. Plaguing goddamn society. It ain't just in the US where this is a problem, but it seems to be where the biggest influence of it is when it comes to the far-right Christo-fascists. So, you know, fuck them. Fuck the religious freedom. Should be cracked down on and fucking taken out like a fucking pest. Because that's what it is. It's a fucking pest and a cancer that has been plaguing this country for, again, like since even before its foundation. It's been plaguing fucking Europe, you know, for like what, thousands, you know, for at least over 1,000+ years now. How much death and genocide has happened because of, I mean, just religion in general, but because of specifically Christianity, more so than Islam, as much as people want to fucking freak out about how violent that ideology is, which it is, in some ways even more so. But that's just because they're catching up to a lot of the crusades and all that shit that Christians did about 1,000 years ago. Because Islam is a lot more of a newer religion in comparison to Christianity. Your literature right should be happy people like us are in charge. I don't know about you, about making feel persecution Roman style. Yeah, if they want a persecution fetish and want to play victim, I'd definitely make them a fucking victim. Seriously. I mean, fundamentally doesn't mean, you know, like, I would restrict somebody for having personal religious faith, but, like, you know, when it comes down to, like, the public society and how, like, legislation or how policy is or how, you know, the cultural norms are, it's just something that, you know, as far as I'm concerned, should not be fucking welcomed, like, at all. At least in the public sphere. I mean, there's a whole, like, I mean, even in the Bible, in Jesus' most famous sermon, it's mentioned that he, you know, that's like, you know, those that, you know, pray alone and pray in private will get their, you know, rewards in the long run. But those that, you know, wish for everybody to see and for everyone who pray in the markets and pray in the streets and shit, they have their reward. Like, if anything, Jesus was actually being fucking sassy about it, because he was saying basically anyone who's preaching or proselytizing on the streets or, you know, doing it publicly or being some sort of like a public speaker about it or some shit, they already have the reward of being some public influencer or being some sort of celebrity type. But people who do it on their own and privately in their own home or praying in a closet, so to speak, you know, get the reward. Make it legal to openly practice. Maybe I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but I mean, yeah, frankly, I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling that. I was saying, speaking of which, because actually, anti-gay conservative pundit Jesse Lee Peterson is exposed as a closeted homo. Huh. Gay! Beta! You know, we haven't talked about Jesse Lee Peterson in a while, so, you know, we can lighten the mood here a minute. Let's lighten the mood up a little.
The spirit of homosexuality is of their father, the devil.
I love how he speaks. I miss it. The homosexuality is what is caused the sin of the loss of the father from the devil. Dude, I love how I just love it. Maybe I'm just extra radical because I live in the thick of it. Well, hey, I mean, you're getting out of it, dude. You're getting the axe. You're getting the pickaxe. You're fucking picking your way through the muck, dude. You're getting out of there.
The person is the spirit that made a home in them, and it came from them overreacted to some sort of a situation in life, whether it's from someone
overreacted to a situation in life? Huh? So the loss of the father and the spirit of the devil is basically, you know, an overreaction to something that happens in your, in a situation in your life.
That's what they when they were kids, or overreacted to an angry mother, because you become like what you hate.
You become like what you hate.
Spirit, and they can't.
You should become like what you hate. You know, you overreact with the spirit of the devil within you, and because of that, you has the beta energy, and you know, it's just you lose sense, and then you becomes what you hate.
It if they don't accept it as a right. They have to see that, yes, they're stuck into it, but it's something wrong with it.
Stuck
and in
into
that, they're able to overcome it. God will remove that spirit away from them.
That was a clip from a video titled How to Stop Being a Homosexual by anti-gay conservative radio host Jesse Lee Peterson. And publicly, he's denounced homosexuality as a sin on numerous occasions, but privately, we know that Jesse Lee Peterson himself can't quite quit that cock. And the reason why we know this is because he accidentally outed himself like an imbecile in 2020 by liking a gay porn tweet on his public.
Oh, I remember this. Dude, everybody was fucking on him for it, bro. Cause, dude, this guy is totally gay. Like, Jesse Lee Peterson's, like, either, like, insecure Freddie Mercury bisexual style, like, fucking flamboyant bi, or just, like, gay as fuck. Cause, straight up, like, my boy, you know, think too much about that dick, dude.
Here's my coverage of that. As you can see, you know, he has
Make America great again.
And
Tremendous.
like the tweet from Donald Trump where Trump's
Oh my god, dude. Fucking Trump tweets. Dude, literally, like, every day there would at least be 6 tweets that were exactly that. Make America great again. Tremendous. Like, there was literally 6 tweets identical to each other that would be spread out throughout the entire day. That was just like that.
And then if you scroll down a little bit more, you see that he liked a tweet from Your Daddy OnlyFans, XXL Boy, where there's a video of part 2 of a collaboration with Sean Boy and Anthony D. And basically this is the video of 2 men having gay sex, and it is censored, but as you can see, there is one man eating out another man's booty hole.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch!
He liked this on his public account for his show.
Oh my god, it still gets me today. It still gets me all giggly.
Oh my god.
Dude,
This is hilarious. This is hilarious. And he left that liked tweet up for hours. It was there for hours. And immediately after he realized that he liked that tweet, he set his account to private. Probably because he didn't scroll through and make sure that he didn't like any other gay porn tweets, because he maybe thought that he was using his throwaway account, not logged into his public account. And, I'm sure he's got to make sure everything is okay. So I don't know if he's even going to speak to this. But if he does speak to this, then I would imagine that he is... I
don't think he did. I don't think he ever did.
Or one of his interns or staffers did that and they've been fired.
But there's something that we know, Jesse, is that the world will never forget you.
And that's evil. But we all
the world
know
will never
what
forget you,
this is about.
spaghetti, that incident.
That Lance from the Surfs put it best. How it started versus how it's going. Now, that video blew up, but regardless, he hasn't stopped with the anti-gay hate, even though we now know that he himself is a homosexual. He even attended a straight pride parade, which you're not straight, bud, so you don't really fit in there. But regardless, he's continuing with his anti-gay tirade.
Well, he wouldn't fit in a gay pride parade either.
Things just got a lot worse for him, because now the evangelicals are onto him, and now they're trying to come after him as well. So Joseph Enders of the right-wing evangelical news outlet titled Christian Militant put together a documentary called Amazing Disgrace, which is a name that's admittedly clever, and in it they talk to men who either had relationships with Jesse or claim that he made unwanted sexual advances towards them. Take a look.
Oh, shit, dude. Oh, damn. Dude, the right is surely having some really hardcore infighting with themselves, dude. Oh my god. This isn't, like, this is kind of becoming more and more of a thing, and like, in a way, I kind of welcome it, but at the same time, I know what side is winning, so really, honestly, I don't.
First came to light when Jesse's...
Oh my god, he actually looked so happy there. Oh my god, why did I feel so warm when I saw this? Like, immediately.
Long gay lover exposed him.
So we were sitting on the bed together, and all of a sudden he turned to me and just looked at me, and he said, "What do you want to do?"
I just honestly have kind of like a soft spot for Jesse Lee Peterson in a weird way, honestly.
What do you want to do? And he said it in a tone that was really insistent, and I'd never seen this tone from him before. It was like kind of scary. It kind of scared me. Like what? What do you want to do? I knew what he meant, and then I told him, well, okay. And at first I'm scared, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm playing along here. It kind of threw me off my game, I guess, in a way. I think later I realized that's kind of something that people do sometimes.
Ignore once of shit. No, I don't. I just, like, in a weird way, because of how much of an amusing goof he is, like, I legitimately do just kind of have, like, a weird soft spot.
It throws you off your normal game. And so he said, what do you want to do? And he's like, okay, I'm scared. And then...
I mean, he's hilarious. Unintentionally, but he is.
Sex acts, you know, that he knew about, that I'd already talked to him about, that I was interested.
Fuck off.
Next thing you know, he's ripping his clothes off and coming at me, basically. And
oh, God.
I did the same, took my clothes off. And next thing you know, we're fully at it, having, not getting into detail here, but basically full-on sexual acts.
Former Bond House manager, 50-year-old Robert Santner, alleges he witnessed similarly strange behavior in 2021 between Jesse and current Bond producer James Hake.
I witnessed.
Oh, from the Hake. Oh my God. Oh, this is getting deeper. Holy shit, dude. I know of that guy too, because he goes on those weird hippy-dippy roundtable things, and he's had like convos of Vosh and shit. I mean, oh my God, what the fuck? Dude, like, even Hake has got, like, I mean, honestly, dude, Hake, Jake, or whatever his name is, like, Hake, like, dude, he is so gay. Like, dude, I like, when I first saw him, especially how much he cries about, like, the woke, like, gay agenda and all that shit, like, dude, most certainly.
Rubbing each other's shoulder down and stuff, and he came to a point where I actually saw him kissing him on the cheek and stuff on the hallway, and talking all kinds. I can't remember what the words he said, but there was a lot of giggling in the hallway in his James' room, and then
dude, James and fucking Jesse are so fucking, dude, those two are fucking, oh my God, yo, what the fuck? Dude.
Just really shocked the living hell out of me. Because I went to the laundry room and stuff. I mean, after I took the laundry out, and then when I got out, and there was a door open in Jesse's room, and there I saw Jesse was sitting in the bed, and while James Hake was
sucking that dick. He was sucking dick. Dude, he was sucking that dick, bro. He was. He can't, he's just like, how do I say this? Like, dude, he's struggling to say it, but I know, bro. I already know. I know what's going on. Oh my God. Dude, this is, I'm having too much fun with this. This is, what the fuck?
Bed sheets, completely around like a burrito with his head sticking out. And Jesse was like embracing him and hugging him and stuff, and then kissing him on the forehead. And I was like, hey, are you all right?
My dude, they were more than all right. They
were more. Oh my. Oh, are you okay? It's like, my dude. Oh my. Yeah, they were more than okay, buddy. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, this is some new information. I'm so glad I know. Oh my God, I'm so happy I've learned this. Holy shit, this makes me so happy.
So, yeah, really funny. Something that stood out to me was the non-stop porno music in the background of this supposedly serious documentary. Very weird. I guess it added to the ambiance, but
honestly, it did. I wasn't even really I noticed it, but it just added to it, like, in a weird way. I was just like, oh. Oh my God. Amazing Disgrace, dude. Oh, dude. Oh. Nah, dude, this is the Amazing Grace, bro. Nah, I don't, like, dude, like, they need to be, like, in a way, I kind of hope they're outed, because, like, let's say, like, you know, because I know, like, there's some right-wing, especially preachers and shit, who have been outed, but it would actually reform because that'd be like, oh, well, you know what, yeah, I'm actually gay, you know what, fuck you guys. Like, I mean, because I forgot the name of the website, but I know there's a website that literally will track up to date, like, by the day, of far-right, like, preachers and commentators and shit like that, or politicians who have come out or been outed as gay, basically. And will keep up with the status on whether they have basically reformed or still practicing homophobic preachings, or are, like, out and not reformed in a way, like a log cabin Republican type or some shit. You know what's the worst? You're taking a shower and your partner insists on getting down. Like, bitch, I just got clean, you want to get dirty? Well, honestly, that's kind of like, I kind of like that, though. That's not the worst, because you're nice and clean, and, you know, and all smooth and soft, and you got, like, those French. You got those damn French over there watching you, too. And you got the fresh scents and stuff from the lotions and shampoos and stuff. I don't know, like, I mean, especially when you're both all nice and clean. I mean, and both all showered up. I mean, just, like, you don't want it all funky and spunky and shit. Like, you don't want that. Like, hygiene. You gotta have at least a little bit there. I mean, yeah, you might want to shower afterwards, depending how funky fresh it gets, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, all in all, I mean, well, at least for me, I think it's better.
Necessarily clear is how many of these advances were repeated and unwanted, because you have some men in this documentary, which you didn't see, saying that Jesse Lee Peterson hit on them and tried to engage in sexual activity with him, and it made them uncomfortable, but they don't necessarily say that there's a pattern with them. It seems as if he'll hit on them or make his move and then move on, but yet they still claim that he is a predator and exhibiting predatory behavior, because according to this documentary, just being...
I mean, frankly, at least considering what I was hearing so far, it does not sound like that at all. It sounds like he flirts and, you know, if he gets turned down, he just moves on. Like, I mean, that's pretty much being, like, a normal person who's very sexually active looking for a partner. It's like, hey, I'm flirty. You want to be flirty back? No? Okay. Like, I mean, you know, maybe they might be a little aggressive about it. Maybe it's like, hey, you really want to flirt? Are you sure? You know, it's like, okay, well, let's hang out a little bit. I'll ask you in a little bit here. Hey, you want to flirt now? No? Okay. Like, I mean, yeah, there might be people like that, but, I mean, for the most part, people just move on, you know, and then, you know, just, like, you know, move on to, you know, somebody else that they might think, you know, will, you know, be more flirtatious with them back and shit. Like, there's just people like that. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily bad. It could be kind of off-putting and maybe, like, you know, more of a turn-off, and, yeah, like, and for a lot of people it is. So, it's like, I don't necessarily think that is inherently predatory, but I would just say that's more assertive and more aggressive more than anything, which isn't necessarily predatory in my mind, but it could definitely be off-putting and a turn-off to a lot of people, though. But people like that, too. There are people out there that do. So, I mean, it just kind of depends on who you know, hit up, I guess, you know, when it comes to that. So, I mean, it really, that's why I find it more amusing, because it's just like these dudes are trying to say he's like some gay predator or some shit, and because this is how these fuckers think. I mean, honestly, no, Jesse really isn't. He's just kind of a closeted, well, semi-closeted, it seems, gay guy that is basically, you know, just far-right, you know, Christo, fasci, homophobic preacher type, you know, that does political commentary and shit on the show. So it's just like, I mean, frankly, it's not like, I mean, it's not like he's doing some crazy, like, predatory ring or some shit, literally trying to fervently press on these dudes. Like, the first dude literally was just like, I'm going along with it, okay, I'll fuck him. And they got down dirty with it, and the other dude was just like, whoa, he's getting a little intimate with this James Hake fella. Is he okay? He seems to be in the bed sheets, and it looks like you're embracing him. Are you alright? I mean, it's like, oh, so predatory, you know? Like, I mean, so far it didn't sound predatory at all, and at least, I mean, so far, I honestly want to watch Doc now, but I'll at least take his word for it that, like, from what the other dudes say, You know, he wasn't exactly predatory because he would just kind of move on, you know, so, you know, it's just like a far-right hit piece, you know, from the Christo-fascist wing of the infighting, you know, from the right wing, but, I mean, it's not, like, whether maybe the actual root of it is true of him being gay and shit, and maybe being, like, aggressively flirty, but, I mean, him being predatory, I doubt that.
General means that you're a predator by definition. So a lot of these claims here, you know, I don't know if they're alleging anything like nefarious when it comes to illegal activity, right? But that last guy that we heard from, they claimed that Jesse Lee Peterson tried to groom him, and that is a fundamental misuse of that term, because you can't groom a grown man. Grooming refers to pedophiles.
Which shows how much of a fucking hit piece it really is. Like, the fact that Jesse Lee Peterson is gay is the reason why they think he's predatory. That's the reason why he isn't, honestly. That's the reason why I don't think he is. Because just the fact that he's gay, and the fact that that other dude literally thought that he was grooming him, which you, like, bro, if you're, like, a grown man and you're straight, dude. Like, I mean, like, you can't be groomed into being gay at that point, or at all. So, like, you just are or you aren't, you fucking shit fucking moron.
Children. So the use of that word has been completely bastardized by conservatives, and that's bad, because grooming is something that is
sex I've heard was once my buddy has sex with his girlfriend, or about halfway through, that's why you take showers, especially if you want to do something like that, and you have, like, one of those little pressure shower hoses that you can kind of, like, take and move around and shit. You get all up in there a little bit, kind of, like, do some enema cleans, and then, you know, do that once or twice during your shower, and you should be Gucci after that. Because the likelihood of that happening pretty much becomes, like, more of, like, a 10% chance instead of, like, literally a gamble of, like, you know, like 50 to 80%. Like, I mean, you know, so it's just safer than sorry. And plus, you kind of get whatever residue is out a little, you know, that's why it's not like what you're saying, what's the worst? Oh, showering and then you want to fuck? No, that's the best time, because you can kind of, you know, hygienically check yourself a little bit, you know, internally and externally, you know, and, you know, get all cleaned and prepped, you know? It's like, I think, you know, so, I mean, I'm the opposite mind of that one, at least.
that must be stopped, but they just say, oh, well, if a gay person is like kissing in public, they're grooming. No, that's not what that means. But either way, so there's one of Jesse Lee Peterson's friends who has apparently been confronting him about this for years, which I did not know about. My assumption initially was that the first time when people learned about Jesse Lee Peterson potentially being gay was when he outed himself. But apparently, you know, he's kind of been pretty brazen despite being in the closet all this time. So watch this clip, and then towards the end you're actually going to see a Humanist Report Easter egg, because yes, they took a portion of our clip and they play it. So take a look.
Here's a video of Francis from March, facing off with him at what appears to be the post office across the street from the Bond studio.
Oh, that's nice. He wants me to tell them how I was sleeping with my brother's wife. That's fine. But Jesse, why will you not speak on your homosexual behaviors?
Francis confronted him again in the back of the building with Armand Martikian in February, capturing it all on video.
Jesse Peterson, I've known you for 25 years personally. Will you come? See, he's not coming over to me. Will you at least stand there where you feel safe and talk to me? Stand up on your porch with the door open and shout out to me. Why won't you talk to me? I've known you for 25 years. I've accused you of heinous things, and you will not talk to me. You coward.
Francis admits there were also a few clues that should have revealed Jesse was a homosexual, long before he ever found out.
He wanted to see if I was willing to have a homosexual relationship with him, of course, because that's what he was all about.
This isn't even the first incident. Jesse was embroiled in a homosexual scandal in October 2020, after his Twitter account liked a gay pornography image. After the tweet was left up for
I think that is the Easter egg.
hours, Jesse's account was immediately locked down and set to private. One caller on his daily
I think that was the Easter egg.
broadcast tried asking him about it, and Peterson hung up on him.
Did you lock your Twitter account because you got caught liking a gay OnlyFans post?
Amazing.
Amazing.
My own Twitter stuff.
Oh, somebody else did it? How come you locked the account?
None of your business. What the? Are you homosexual?
None of your business. What the? Are you a homosexual? Beta. Amazing.
No, but it doesn't really
Why
matter.
are you such a beta man? What you know?
Oh my god! Oh my god! I didn't even have to like fucking try. I literally just was like fucking here like fucking Jesse Lee Peterson quip. Oh wow, nailed it.
But you're being a girl right now. What making you?
You're being a girl right now.
There's nothing wrong with it, Jesse.
There's nothing wrong with you being a girl.
They were in.
Goodbye.
It's so cringeworthy because you can tell that Jesse Lee Peterson, who usually has an answer for everything, was scrambling. That was
Honestly,
really...
what's wrong with being beta? I don't know. I just like saying it the way Jesse Lee Peterson says it. Beta.
But if you noticed, when they showcased the tweet, there was the white bricks, the iconic white bricks that we were using for our B-roll in 2020 and 2021. So apparently Christian Militant is a pretty big fan of the Humanist Report. Thanks for watching.
It's so amazing.
The one thing that I thought that was funny about that was the guy that said, "I've accused you of heinous things and you will not talk to me."
Heinous things like, I guess, being gay.
Yeah. It's so weird because the heinous thing that Jesse Lee Peterson overall is being accused of here is homosexuality. He's bad because he's a homosexual. But to me, the reason why I take issue with Jesse Lee Peterson is because of the hypocrisy. On one hand, publicly, he preaches hate. He convinces people that being homosexual is a sin and you can change and you shouldn't be gay and it's bad and you should feel bad and reject your children if they're gay or trans. But yet, privately, he's hitting on like every single guy he comes into contact with. This documentary is accurate, and I'm sure that they're, embellishing a little bit here, but he's very clearly gay, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And honestly, it's like, hey, Jesse, it's okay, bro. Like, you know what? Even if you lose, like, 90% of your audience, you're literally going to gain tenfold from that. Like, there is straight up, like, people like me who have a weird soft spot for you despite your fucking hatred and bigotry that we despise you for. That if you redemption arc yourself, we would actually have, like, okay, you're actually kind of a fun little meme and we can have some fun with you and actually have a legit good time and not be a hateful piece of shit. And, like, also just, enjoy the humor and the memes of the amazing. Like, I mean, he's just like one of those dudes I just have a weird soft spot for. So, like, I don't know why, because I know why. It's just the memes. It's the memes. Like, it's the memes that come out of them. I mean, outside of that, I mean, like, at least right now, fuck them. Just be open about yourself, bro. It's okay.
He is not willing to admit this, and he's still preaching hate despite everyone already knowing that he's gay and maybe he's gay with his producer. It's just bizarre. The
who also has his own show.
Situation is really bizarre. Usually when you're caught, like Ted Haggard, this is another reverend who was caught. He was a hate preacher, and he was caught with, I believe, a gay prostitute and meth, I want to say. Maybe it was coke.
I think it was coke, but probably meth. Ted Haggard was completely heterosexual. Ted Haggard was completely heterosexual. Ted Haggard was completely heterosexual. Oh, and how he blew ya. I love that song.
He was done, but Jesse Lee Peterson is trying to pull this Trumpian move, and he's just trying to push through it. Very, very bizarre and bold strategy, but regardless, it seems to be working.
He's pulling the Dave Rubin, honestly. Because
has a relatively big platform. And
it's just like, I mean, like, he's pulling Dave Rubin if Dave Rubin was a closet gay, basically. Because it's just like, if he was, instead of just pushing through with it and just, getting berated by some of your fans who kind of are knowing this and actually are doing like people at far right, elements who agree with you, really, overall, or, hitting you up about this and doing hit pieces and shit, then, I mean, it's like, come on, bro.
Thousands of views every single day. Now, I've got to say, I am sensitive to outing, having been an individual from the LGBTQ plus community who's been outed myself. It's traumatic. It's something that you should never do. However, I firmly stand by the belief that if somebody is going to preach hate and they themselves are gay, and we find out about it, I think we have a responsibility to out them, right?
Yeah.
Because that's one less person preaching hate if we can get them to shut the fuck up once they've been exposed. Jesse
or reformed.
Peterson, however, is relentless, and he's just sucking cocks behind the scenes, talking about how homosexuality is bad and attending straight pride parades. Jesse, listen, if you see this, which I'm assuming he will actually, it's never too late to turn your life around and stop being a fucking imbecile, right? You're, what, 60? Probably, maybe almost 70? I'm not necessarily sure. But it's not too late to change, apologize for all the horrible things you've said about LGBTQ plus people, and then try to fix the things that you've done to hurt gay people. Try to right those wrongs and preach the opposite of hate. But he maybe just feels like, well, it's too late. I'm old, so I might as well just continue down this trajectory where I publicly denounce gay people and privately hit on every single guy I come into contact with. So again, like, I don't want to necessarily say that because this documentary is anti-gay itself, so they inherently believe that gay people are promiscuous. So, I mean, if you're going to take Jesse Lee Peterson's life, and this is everyone that you can find who he's hit on, then, okay, probably not necessarily any different than straight men, right? But he seems pretty confident with himself, and he hits on a lot of dudes. And that to me is a little bit shocking because you're around evangelicals. You surround yourself around social conservatives, and you'd think that he'd have some self-awareness or fear that they might out him if, you know, he hits on them and then they don't take it well. But no, he can't quit that cock, as I stated. So
he can't quit that dick.
It's our situation, but here's my policy on Jesse Lee Peterson. Anytime he opens his mouth,
can't trip this dick,
homophobic or transphobic shit, then we have to share this video, not the Christian militant video.
Oh my god, look at that video. Look at his fucking shirt.
This video. Because don't give them any clicks or views, but share this video. Share the link to this video, right? A couple of weeks ago,
I think I will.
Fox News for running the pro-trans segment. Okay, fine, Jesse, you want to do that? Well, we'll remind you about the skeletons that you have in your closet. And to be clear, you're seemingly not doing anything wrong. I mean, if you're making unwanted sexual advances repeatedly, then that is sexual harassment, and that's not acceptable. But that's not necessarily clear in this documentary. But if you're just a gay person...
If anything, honestly, I don't even think that's even happening. Again, it's just a bunch of, you know, bigoted bullshit because, yeah, it is inherently an anti-gay fucking hit piece.
There's nothing wrong with it, as the caller who asked him about his gay porn tweet pointed out. But if you're going to lie to people and you're going to preach hate, then that's a different story. So, you know, we're not going to let you live this down, Jesse, so long as you keep being a bigot publicly, because what you're doing is hurting LGBTQ plus people. So if you're a part of this community secretly, but publicly you're trying to hurt and damage this community, then fuck you. We're going to expose you. Sorry.
Yeah. Honestly, you know what? I kind of want to call in on a show one of these days and actually be like, "Hi there, Jesse. I'm a fellow conservative man, but I kind of saw this thing, you know, and some different claims and evidence about you being kind of homosexual, and, you know, and honestly, it's just like, I'm not myself, but it's kind of one thing I really, you know, never understood the hate for, you know, so it's like, you know, it's like, we respect, brother, even if, you know, it's like, if that happens to be the case, you know, it's like, why not just, you know, just be okay and accept the fact there, brother." I mean, you know, it's like, at least for me, you know, there'll definitely be some, you know, loyal fans and, you know, followers. At the end of the day, we'll still be following you there, my friend. Or whatever the fuck, dude. Like, I should totally just, like, you know, 100% just straight up fucking, you know, pretend to be, like, some conservative Texan type or some shit that just is okay with gay people. Yeah. Are you sharing the last name, Jesse? And Jordan Peterson, too, I guess. Because they both have the same last name. Well, at least with Jesse Lee Peterson, it's not as bad as Jordan Peterson. Because honestly, I think, for me personally, in a way, I think he's worse. Because he's more influential. Like, Jesse Lee Peterson isn't as influential as much as he's been around for a while. So, it's just like, I mean, that's just at least my view about it, because, I mean, yeah, you know, Jesse Lee Peterson might get thousands of views a day, but he ain't, like, influential like fucking Jordan Peterson, you know, so, like, not at this point. So, if anything, honestly, I think between Jesse or Jordan, I think that would be worse, Jordan Peterson. But, anyway, gonna head off to work and all that fun shit, so, Gonna get out there in the sun, get me some Z's, some sun rays, and I'll have fun and shit. Hopefully it's a nice slow day. It is a Saturday after all. Baby. Peace out, good day, bro. Will do. But of course, you know, I'll be back around for that next one. Later night. So, anyway, peace out, and of course.